Hello, everybody. This is Carol from Friendly Quail. Hip hip hooray! Today is Tuesday when I take you along on my never-ending quest to try something new. Today, we're going to be making what I'm calling magical tag backs out of book page. And I've been fooling around with it for a couple of days. And I have everything, like I have all the things up to a step so that I can show you every step as we're going through. And these are, this one's backed with coffee dyed paper. This one is just the file folder that I'm going to be putting these on. But I made some journal cards and tags out of book pages. So let me put these aside and then I will get you started. Now, I originally got this idea from the Shelley Studio. She used book pages to make tag backs and journal card backs, but I ended up taking it in a slightly different direction. But the first thing you need to do is you need to get some gesso and water it down, because you're going to, oh my gosh, this is like stuck. There we go. We're going to water it down. But I'm going to take, and I'm not going to do too much right now because I'm not going to be doing that many papers. But I'm going to take some gesso and add some water. And I probably am adding about half the water, the amount that I put gesso in here. It's about half. Half of that I added water. And I mix it together. And you want it kind of runny. This is probably not runny enough. I'm going to add a little more water. And mix it up. I usually do a little bit more than this, but I don't want a lot left over. I still think it's not enough. I want it kind of runny. And when you put it on, you're going to be able to see the book page, the text through it. This is better. See how this is running off? I hope you can see that. Okay. So now I'm going to use this gesso. Get this out of the way, to coat the book pages. Now I go beyond the text, but I'm really only going to be using the text part when I'm actually doing this. So I'm going to paint the gesso on. And I'm going to see if you can see this up close. You can see the text through it. And that's good. Then I'm going to be letting these dry. I'm going to do a couple more. Okay. This paper that I'm using right here is kind of cracky, but putting the gesso on it strengthens it, as well as it will be backed onto a card, index, like a file folder. I'm sorry. Okay, You put those aside to dry. Let me do one of these. This is from a Reader's Digest book, so this is where I cut I cut two journal cards out of each one that I did. So I'm getting my gesso, watered down gesso on here. Now in Shelley's, and I've got her her video linked below. She used ink, and I might try. I actually didn't use ink at all, because I wanted to use something that I had in my stash. I can try a little bit of the spray. I've done kind of spray backgrounds before, but I'm using the same method that she used with ink. If you don't have what I'm going to be using, then try your ink if you have that. Okay, now I'm going to put that aside. I will be cleaning that up. All right, next step. I've got a bunch of these that are dry. So I'm going to use some of these to show you the method. Let's try these big ones. I haven't used these big ones before. But I am using, and this is why I called it magical tag backgrounds. I'm going to be using these Lindy's magical powders. And I also have some of Ranger Perfect Pearls, which is pretty much the same thing. Although I think I like the magicals better. But I will show you what I'm going to do. Alright. I'm going to get them out of the way. Take some of the magicals. Let's see, what color should I use? This is Sassy Sapphire, and they're glitzy. They're I'm just gonna put some on here. All right, and maybe I'll put some of this purple on. I haven't made any with purple yet. I'm just sprinkling some on. Now, if you're using the inks, you do the inks on at this point. Okay, now I'm going to put some water on it, which activates the crystals that are in here. And then I'm going to take a second one and put it down on top of it. Get that water up. Now where you see it leaking through, that's where there's no gesso. Alright, this is almost too much water. I'm going to kind of get that over. Going to pick up some of that. Try another one. I try to make sure that everywhere there's gesso, there's something on it. So this now has to dry. Might do just a little bit up there yet. Okay, so that is kind of the method that you're using. Put those aside to dry. Oops. Wipe that up. I probably should have gloves on because I'm getting that on me. This is Drop Dead Gorgeous Green. Looks yellow, but it's green. All right, and I'm going to try let's do Cattail Copper Brown with it. Now I will try a little bit with spray inks because I do have some of those. She used inks that are like in bottles. The only color inks I have are white, black, and gold, which I didn't know if that would really work. I want to activate all of it. I've got probably more water. And they start blending together. Some of that, put it on. Kind of ran out. Need to try using a little bit less of the magicals, I think, but kind of cool. And I will put these aside to dry. And I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do one of these big ones. I haven't done this big before. Oh, let's see. This is Autumn Maple Crimson. And I think I'm going to do gold. This is Bayou Boogie Gold Magical. Okay. Get that. So I hope everyone's doing well. I am so happy that you're with me today. And I need to get that activated there. Okay. Thank you for subscribing. I have gotten a lot of new subscribers. And I'm really happy about that. And I'm so glad that those of you who have been with me for a while are coming back. Okay. What I might do is get some of this picked up. I think there's a little too much. Okay, got a little of this on here. Seems like the colors have different colors within them. Okay. And I think once I get this one totally done, I'm going to try a couple of sprays. Okay. Put those aside to dry. I could almost take another paper and put it in that. I'll bet that would have worked well. See, wear gloves. I'll just do the dishes and that'll work. Okay, let's try some sprays. I got some ink sprays, so that would be similar. Sorry, I didn't pull these out ahead of time. But I've got some Distress sprays and some DIY illusions. This one is, these are from Ranger. They're old. Okay, let's try this. See if it'll work. I haven't used these for a while. Okay, not gonna spray. If I can get one of them to spray. Ah, there we go. So if you have inks and you don't have madrigals, this is more like what Shelly did on her video, except she put drops of ink instead of sprays. Okay. Seems like it didn't cover quite as well. Maybe if I put a little water on it, it'll spread. Yeah, seems to be working. It seems that there is a little bit more red than purple. But they're probably mixing together a little bit. Whoops. Okay, let's get picked up. Okay, that looks interesting. Okay, I think I will go on to the next step. These are not quite as see-through as the magicals are, but I can still see the text behind it. Just a little more. Yeah, I like that. That looks good too. It's a little bit of white here. Put it in there. Okay. That's very interesting. It actually looks a lot like the magicals, but I think the magicals have more glittery stuff in it. All right. Next step. Ooh, I lost my train of thought before. I know I was talking about something. Usually I can remember what I was talking about and go back to it. I don't know what I was talking about. Other than thanks for being here, and I really am so happy to have so many new subscribers, and I want to welcome you all. And like I said, my people who have been here a while, thanks for your support, and you keep coming back. Okay, these are a couple ideas that I let dry. And my next step is that I cut these into the shape that I'm going to use. Sorry, I'm getting my cutter. What I try to do is cut it where the edge of the writing is. So I am, oops, I got both of them. Should have only done one at a time. Okay. Lining it up with the edge of the writing. Now this is, can you see, you see the shimmer on it. The ink won't have that. Let's see how big this is. I'm going to cut this about 3 inches. Yeah, that works. And I'll do one of these. It's a little harder to see where the writing ends, but this is about 3 1/4 by 6. Some pretty shimmery. Now you could save this stuff for collage if you wanted to. These are going to be tags. These are going to be journal cards. I could have left this and made it into a tag as well, but I didn't. So I cut those up like that. Then, okay, then I took my glue stick and I glued them onto file folder. So these are some other ones that I did. Like I would use my glue stick, glue it on. I think, you know, I don't need to show you that. But then I'm going to cut these out. And so I need my thing again. Now what I'm going to do is cut like the middle one here so that these get into pieces I can deal with individually. And again, if you wanted to, you could back these with paper. But with the, it's actually quite easy to it's stiff enough with the book page, the gesso, the file folder. So, you know, if you don't mind that on the back, you can leave it just like it is. So I'm making sure that everything's straight and cutting out the pieces. So we get our tags cut out. And then you're ready to make them into your tags. Now, when I did the first ones, I decided that I had covered them up, maybe the magicals up maybe a little bit too much, because I put a piece of paper under here. Well, you can only see the magical tag part around the edges, which is still pretty, and you can see the book page through it. But then I thought, I'm making all this pretty stuff and I'm kind of covering it up. Did the same thing. I put book page on here, and here I have a piece of lace. So I was pulling some things out, and I think I'm going to try to use a little bit less on it so you see more of the background. So this is a fussy cut owl out of a calendar or a bird book or something. Yeah, might have been a bird book. Okay, and this is a die cut where I cut the leaf out of a book page. Or this is one of Tim Holtz's thinlits. So I'm going to put some glue, using my art glitter glue, on this. Ooh. So my husband went to his sister's house today to help her. I gotta see, where do I want this to come out of? I have to remember I'm cutting off this edge. that's good. Okay. Now, I didn't distress that at all. It's only book page, and it's really hard to get the edges, so I just am going to put a little bit on there. And then I'm using walnut stain. So let's get our little owl here distressed up on the edges. Get my art glitter glue on here, and now it's coming out a little better. All right. I'm putting that, lining that up with the edge and the bottom. I just kind of fussy cut around it a little bit. And I'm going to put just a little bit. Let's see where this is going to go. Oh, I got some magical on it. I grunged it up too much with my dirty fingers. Okay, I'm going to be putting this on here. And I probably, if I use my Fabri-Tac, I can just glue this right over that piece of lace, and it'll hold it down. Okay. Now I'm going to cut a tag shape on the top. This is just the smallest one that I have. I make these out of old cards. And then I will put something in here, and because I've got this handy, I'm just going to use this. This is for cutting slots. And I'm just going to cut a slot into that. Now, you can stitch around these if you want to. I kind of like the look of stitching, but I haven't stitched any of mine at this point because I wanted to show you that you don't have to, but you can always go back and stitch. And I'll probably put a piece of this lace in that little slot. So let's get some of that. I'm just going to kind of gather that up. Now, if I wanted to sew on here, I'll just put a little bit of glue here to hold it in place. And then my sewing would catch that. Probably should have done this first. Okay. I'm just going to put a staple in there. Tiny attacher. And that'll hold it. I still could sew there if I wanted to. And I do like having it just dressed around the edges. And I do like that I can see a little bit more of the background on this one. It's got that nice shiny space here. I should make sure everything's after what I did last time. I was off camera part of the time. Okay, so again, you could stitch around here if you want. You can, I usually do this on this side too, of course. And like I said, I don't want to, I'm getting my hands have some of that magical stuff on. Should have washed it. Okay, let's do another one. This is a fussy cut that I cut out of a flower book. This is a die cut. That is one of Tim Holtz's thinlits. I'm just putting this behind. Okay, I'm gonna just take up, not there. Ooh, sorry about that squeak. I'm going to do the edges of this. When I'm watching TV or something, I might sit and cut flowers out, or I think I did a bunch of these in the car when we were traveling up to Wisconsin last year. Okay. So I just put this so it would have a little green behind it. I believe this is one of like Tracy's labels, or from the specimen part. I'm going to put that on right now. Put this on. I wanted to show you some, you know, different ways you could decorate them. There. Again, this one you can see a little bit more of the magical background, which I really like. Cut this one with one of my, this is my second biggest one. And I'll either put a tag, oh, what do you call it? The whale tail or something up here, or a piece of lace. But that turned out really nice too. Okay, just so you can see, you can use different things. I've got this one I'm actually going to use with the writing goes this way. And I'm going to pause just a second and wash my hands. Okay, I'm back. I still have stains on my hands, but at least I feel it's not quite as bad. This is a sticker, a washi sticker. Let's see if I can get it loose without too much trouble. These do not always come off the easiest. Okay, just try a new spot. It's on that plastic background. Come on. Sometimes they come off really easy, and most of the time they don't. Try another part. Should have my glasses on. Very quiet. Okay, now it's loose. Now what I should have probably done was also put a little bit of distress on there. Okay, come on, you were up. Okay. Again, I'm going to put it about right there. Now let's try to keep these from curling up. I gotta make sure this is, because I want this little girl to be leaning on that mushroom. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, and I also have a butterfly wings that I'm putting on her. Oh, I gotta do this distressing first. This is one of the Tim Holtz paper dolls. Okay. Put a little distress on the edges of these wings. You can cut these apart if it doesn't fit on right. But I thought this one worked fairly well. And I'm going to then put glue here, and we're going to glue her on. It's rainy season here, and it rains every day. And a lot of times we used to be gone during this time period. We'd go up to Wisconsin for the summer, but we're not. We sold our camper up there. And so we're not going up there, and this is only the second summer I've spent actually in Florida. And besides the fact that we have rain every day, there. And this one I'll probably round the corners like this. Whoop. I didn't get it in there right. Anyway, it's kind of dreary and it's hot. And then besides the rain, we have this Saharan dust. It's come across the Atlantic. And this needs to be distressed, so whatever too, but I won't take the time to do it now. And when I go out to walk, I've been telling my husband, I said, the air is like, I can hardly breathe. You know, it's like really, I was blaming it on humidity. But I was reading in the paper yesterday, and they said it's from this dust that's come across the ocean in the air from the Saharan desert. And that when you're breathing it in, it's getting in your lungs, it gets into your blood, and it makes it harder if you have allergies or asthma or anything like that. It makes it harder to breathe. So I wasn't imagining it. It is harder to breathe out there right now because I do have allergies. I'm just kind of putting some of this distress on the parts that I'm going to glue down. And I really have noticed it. It's like I can't walk as far. I can only walk part way. Okay, this is going to go on here. She's going to kind of be sitting on the edge of it. She's going to have some wings. I'll get those on right away. Oh, and I gotta get another one of these loose. Hopefully this one will be easier than the last one. Ah, got it. All right, I gotta figure out again where I exactly want this to be. Hopefully this will be good. I think I originally had her up a little higher because I had this down here. But it'll be good where it is. We just say it. It's serendipity. It's where it was supposed to go. Get her on the edge of this. Get this on. I'm going to cut this right away. Okay. Now I think what I'm going to do is put this on the side here. I don't have this folded very good. Better. And this will be out here. This will be here. Okay. I'll do the bottom of this so I get it where I want it on here. And again, I would distress. Okay, and I'll do this whole thing. So hopefully, if you stopped, are still here, thank you. And hopefully you got some ideas for some cool tags. Love it. I might put something else up there, but I do have this on here. I'll probably sew some of these. So hopefully you got some ideas and you enjoyed this video. If so, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'd love it. There we go. So this is Carol from Friendly Quail. And thank you for being here. Do something you just absolutely love to do today. And goodbye.